Hello and welcome to Orion Outreach. I'm your host, Alana Hart. Today we're going to be talking with NOTA and the services that they provide right here in Lake Orion, Oxford, and Addison Township. So welcome, Lynn, to the show.
Thank you.
We have a lot to talk about. But first, for people that don't know, I'm sure they see the buses around town and wonder what it is. So what exactly is NOTA?
NOTA is a transportation service for Orion, Oxford, and Addison residents that are either seniors, disabled, or low income. And it's a demand response service, so it gives a door-to-door service. So it's once a person is registered, the bus will come right to their home, pick them up, and take them to their destination. And then another bus will pick them up from that destination and take them back home.
What is the history on NOTA? I've heard a couple questions of how long has NOTA been around? What is the history on NOTA?
NOTA started in 2001, so we've been around for 17 years, and we started as 3 vehicles, so we've grown quite a bit in the 17 years. And we now have 21 vehicles, and it's amazing. We're continuing to grow every year.
So to me, that would mean that the service over the years since 2001 has demanded the growth.
It certainly has. We have about 39,000 rides in 2017, which was up 15% from the year before.
Wow.
And this year we're already up 13% from last year. So it definitely is on the rise, which tells what a need there is for transportation in our area.
Wow, so 13% already.
Yes.
And we're only in half of the year.
Yes.
Wow. So how does one either go about getting services, or how do you even register? Kind of what are the qualifications all in one?
Sure. If you first have to be a resident of Orion, Oxford, or Addison, and if you're a senior, which is age 60 or over, disability of some sort, it could be a temporary disability or it could be a permanent disability, and that requires a doctor's note. So if you're under 60 but have some type of disability that you can't drive, you can fill out that paperwork. Or if you're low income. And the qualifications are all on our website, which is www.ridenota.org.
And it's veterans also, right? So senior citizens, disabled, and maybe if someone had an accident or surgery, but they're a resident, they can use the service as well?
Absolutely. If you broke your leg and you're 22 years old, you can use our service. We'll definitely, until you're ready and able to be on your own again.
And what would it cost me? So if I broke my leg or I had ankle surgery and I couldn't get to work, what would it cost me for a ride?
Right, as NOTA only charges $1 each way if you're in Orion, Oxford, or Addison, and $2 each way if you're outside of those areas. So we don't just operate within their communities, we actually go outside of those communities. We'll go as far south as Square Lake Road, including Troy Beaumont Hospital. On the east border, we go to Van Dyke, so that includes Romeo. On the west side, we go to M15, and down to Dixie Highway, so that includes Clarkston and Brandon, Auburn Hills, Rochester, Pontiac. And on the north side, it's Davison Lake Road, or the Oakland County border.
In those service areas, does that include residents here? They can go as far as those borderlines also?
Yes. Yes, and so if you go outside of the 3 communities, then it's $2 each way. So the total round trip fare would be $4.
Wow. And so we need to talk about the millage that is coming up.
Yes.
It's really a renewal, but first, obviously they'd have to be a registered voter, which they have until July 9th to register to vote. But let's talk about, it's a renewal.
Yes.
And how much does it look as far as a cost to the average homeowner?
It's a renewal of up to 0.25 mils, and which is actually less than what we asked the voters for in the last election. Because of Headley, it actually gets reduced. So an average taxpayer whose home value is $100,000 would pay $12.50 a year, which is 3 cents a day, $1 a month. So it's really, really a value for the service that you get, as compared to RTA is going to be trying to be on the ballot, and they're asking 1.5 mils, which is 6 times the amount that we're asking for 20 years. So we really are asking for just a very small amount. All of those tax dollars are given to the residents in those 3 communities. They're not outside of those communities. It's all given to those residents, and we run a very tight budget. So we use the funds very effectively.
That is a good question or statement. How many drivers do you have? So how many does that keep employed right here in the area?
We have 29 part-time drivers. We have 3 dispatchers and an operations manager. And we operate like a family, and it's been just a great operation. A lot of our drivers are retirees, but I think the greatest thing about our staff is they are all caring and kind. They have no place to be part of our family unless they have a big heart, because that's the service that we give. And I think that's what makes it so special, is that they're not just transporting a person from A to B. They care about our riders. They help with groceries. It's door to door, but they really will go out. They will help them with the groceries to their door. They'll assist the wheelchairs and the walkers from the door of the doctor's office, and make sure they get to their home okay. They'll make sure they have the return ride home. I mean, our drivers really care about the riders, and as did the dispatchers.
And with that said, that's all included in the $1 or $2 round trip or $4 round trip.
Exactly.
You can't get that anywhere.
No, you really can't.
And I mean to go back to the renewal because it's a renewal. Mm-hmm. And how long is that renewal good for? What is the time frame that we're looking on for that renewal?
It's a 5-year renewal. So, and that was what our previous one was, is 5 years. So it will keep us going at the existing rate. We're not asking for any increase. It'll just be keeping our existing service going.
Great, great. And we interviewed earlier some people and amazing stories and what that service does for their life. And I'm sure over the years that you've heard many, many stories. What are some that you remember that touched you, that if they didn't have this service, how it would affect their life?
I've had there's always a story every day of people that have been impacted and how they would not be able to survive without NOTA. So many people don't have friends and family in the area. They have no one else to rely on. They would be homebound. People call without food. And we've had drivers personally go over and above to help these people on a personal level, which is outside of their jobs, but they just care that much. And I do have a letter from one of our riders that's sent in, and I'd like to share it with you if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
In the letter, he stated how he's used NOTA and enjoyed the service, and he said that he had a great driving record, but one day he lost consciousness during a blackout and ended up losing his license for 6 months. He stated, "I understand some people don't understand what NOTA does. To them, I make a couple of assertions. If we're fortunate enough, we'll all be seniors at some time in the future. It's not likely that all of our family will live in close proximity to you. You can expect to be transportation challenged. My traffic accident was a result of a loss of consciousness, which is a lot like a single heartbeat. So what's the difference between someone like me and everyone who currently has a valid Michigan driver's license? Know this, there is just a heartbeat of difference between you and me. Your life can change in a heartbeat, just like mine did. I hope NOTA is there to help you as they have helped me." It's really touching.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. And you and I have been friends for years, and we've talked a lot about this and the impact. And I don't think that the community realizes we're really blessed to have this service, and that people are able to get from A to B. We take for granted that maybe we get in our cars every day, and so that is it. That it's a heartbeat.
You just don't know.
Yeah.
And there's another lady that was driving, and she had a heart attack and wasn't able to drive, and she had no family in the area, and she called just crying about, "I don't know what I would do without you, because I couldn't get to my job. I would have lost my house." It's really a vital service that we give to these people, that I think it's not something that it should just be something that everyone should have access to, but there's so many communities that don't. We actually have quite a few communities that are coming to us, and they want to replicate NOTA in their communities because they don't have something like that, and they really would like to create a model similar to ours in their communities, because it is a very good value. For a small amount of money, you can create a wonderful service.
That's great. And if for some reason the renewal didn't pass, what does that mean for NOTA?
That would be a huge cut. It's 40% of our budget. So it would be a difference between going from 15 routes down to 9. We would lose 6 routes. We'd have to lay off at least 6 drivers, maybe more. The hours on the road will go down. And the amount of rides that we give will probably go down by about 15,000 in a year.
Wow.
So it'll impact people immensely.
And it's almost half, right?
It
Is
is.
it 39,000?
It's 40%,
Right,
right?
yeah.
It is.
Wow. Well, thank you to all the people that we were able to talk to today, and you, and just all your great work.
And thank you for making this known to the community. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Remember, it is on the ballot for August 7th, so if you are not registered to vote, you have until July 9th to do so. So August 7th, please get out and vote. That's all for today. We'll see you next time. What does NOTA and the services they offer, what does that mean to you?
That means life, everything. It means being independent, going places, and not impose on my family.
It means everything to me. It gives me independence. I have not been able to drive since 1991, and it's been probably 15 years at least now I've been using NOTA. It's opened up a whole new world to me.
I'm a college professor in Rochester, at Rochester College. I was a pilot, shot down in Vietnam. I was blinded there. And I've found in the last 40 or 50 years, I can do just about anything except drive. So NOTA gives me the ability, whenever I need them, to take me to work occasionally, take me to appointments. I am truly grateful to NOTA.
What would it mean to you if you didn't have that? If you didn't have this service in your life?
I think I wouldn't survive that many years as I do because I love to be with people.
So without the millage, I think it would mean, not only for me, but for many other people, it would mean a great disadvantage.